Hey guys, Mike back here with you with CSI Gaming. We're going to go over a second video. Within Magic, we're going to use Arena again, as this is a lot easier for me to show you the cards than it is doing a tabletop with a camera that hardly stays in focus. So, this week we're going to go over Forest Might, which is a green deck. And how the green deck works is it throws a lot of big creatures at you. A lot of powerful creatures, but with high mana cost. As we talked about in the last video, the converted mana cost, the CMC, of the Silverback Shaman is 5 mana. However, he is a 5/4 with trample, so he's very powerful. We'll see how this will work out in a card scenario. I will show you how to play. Again, the same basic standards works for all colors. I want to go over each move. Hopefully we'll get to go over some enchantments this time. How to use an enchantment versus how to use an instant. When to use them and how to use them. We'll probably go over some vigilance, what vigilance means. Some sorceries, we got all kind of good stuff. Just a quick recap though, when you play your turn, you always want to play a land. Always remember that, because the land is how we play mana for our creatures. So, here we go. We're going to try to go as slow as possible. During the first video, I felt like I went a little fast. So what we're going to do is, I always encourage you to play the bot matches right here. These are not players, these are just simple computer opponents that will help you get better at the game and even help you test your decks that you've custom built, that we will get into in the later videos. And I do not know what color that the bot will use, because it's always a mystery. Okay, as we see here, our starting hand, 3 forest, we got an instant, we got another instant, an enchantment, and a cat. We could choose to keep all 7, or we can mulligan, get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with 1 returned to the bottom of my library. Let's go ahead and keep 7.
I'm ready to play.
My opponent's turn. He played a forest. My turn. I drew another cat. Now as you can count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it says you will need to discard down to 7 at the end of your turn. You can only have 7 cards in your hand at any time. So we know we can always play a land. That brought us down to 7. As I said before in another video, that in this program, you automatically switch to your opponent's turn. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. It'll automatically switch to your opponent's turn. However, when you're playing this, and this game is the same as if you were playing it on a tabletop with a friend, is that you would always say, okay, I end my turn, so your opponent will know that it's his turn. The game is just automatically like that. So now then we could play something. We could play an instant or an instant, so that helps us. None. It looks like we're fixing to take 2 damage, as we have 0 blockers. He has to attack, which I'm assuming he's going to attack. Alright. Looks like we're playing a green deck versus a green deck, so this is going to be interesting. There is his attack. And since I have no blockers, I'll have to take the 2 damage. This guy can't attack me, as we talked about in the first video. Whenever you play a card that doesn't have haste written under the creature type,
Keep with it. You're doing
it
great.
cannot attack until the next turn due to what they call summoning sickness. We'll play a land. Now we can play a stray. Alright. He's still gonna attack. I think with 2 creatures, which hurts us. And he has 1 mana left, so I'm gonna no block that for 3 damage. Play a forest. I will play an Elf Scout. It says when enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land from among them and put them on the top of your library, the rest on the bottom in a random order. So it's pretty much a scry. Now I'll get to look. Here's the top 4 cards. I could really use that silverback. So I put him on top and the rest on bottom. So now, let's see if we could do this with 1 cat attacking. And as you can tell, I left 2 mana open, unused on purpose. Because remember, we have an instant. So, I'm going to attack, and hopefully he's going to be brave enough to think that he can beat that with something he has. We're going to click next. See who he did. He does pick a blocker. Now, once he assigns a blocker, we're going to put Growth Cycle on my cat, and it will give it a 4/5, which would kill it. As you can tell, that's how you want to use an instant. When you want to use an instant as well, is when you fool him into thinking he has you beat. Now, let's go over, we always play our force, what the difference is between an instant and an enchantment. The instant fell off right after I used it. It's just until the end of turn.
You're doing great.
However, Oaken Form is an enchantment aura, so watch what happens as I play this on my Generous Stray. It stays. It attaches to the card and buffs it. We will send it for an attack, which if he attacks with his silverback, we will probably cancel each other out and destroy each other. But what I'm going to do is throw an instant on top of it, and just to make sure I do a lot of damage. And remember, the instant fell off, however, the enchantment didn't. Ouch. Okay. Since I didn't get a land to play, we're still at 5 land, so I'm stuck with let's play a silverback for all my mana. And let's attack with my stray again. This is a close game. I might actually lose this one. But the whole purpose of this match was to show you my instance. Okay, it looks like we can do some damage. He's got 2, 4, 9, 10 damage. So I will have to do this to survive this round. We're having to kill each other's gorillas. No, he's going to kill my gorilla and and that's the end of the match.
I was worried.
However, we did accomplish the difference between an enchantment and an instant. Unfortunately, sometimes these things happen. It's all about the fun in the game. Don't take it too serious. The green decks are big creatures that just pummel. So if you're into the green scene and you like to make big creatures, maybe green's your color. Whereas the last video I showed you blue and black, which is control mixed with a little bit of destruction, and each deck, it has a theme, and it even has a name. So this one, when you go blue-black, if you look at the colors blue-black here, make sure blue and black, there's some creatures that we'll get to at the back of this from the first video. That will be both colors. There's black, white. Some of these, like Luris, the Dream Den, has a converted mana cost of 3, but the way you can play him is you can either pay 2 white or 2 black. It's mixed. He has a multicolor. Lifelink, he even has a companion slot, which we will get into the companions later, which is a very fun way to play a style that's not really supported by this, but a lot of local game stores support it. It is called Commander. It is a 100 card format that's a little different than what we're playing here with a 60 card. And I will go over a Commander deck using websites at a very much later video. Right now I'm just wanting to show you how to play Magic. As you see, this one is a multicolored creature. So when you do a multicolored themed deck to play with, you will get different colors. And what this deck is a Dimir deck. D-I-M-I-R. Dimir is blue-black. Whereas, I know I'm getting a little complex. If you mix a red and green, you will get a Gruul deck. Now, what a Gruul deck is you're mixing the two most aggressive colors, I think. You're mixing the aggressiveness of red with the big, creatures of green. So in later videos when I go over deck building, I will show you some of the key features and some of the perks of making a red-green deck and how fun it is. So we'll go into our second match. Again, I'm going to change up the greens. I'm going to go from Forest Might to Large and in Charge to show you just how big these creatures will get. This is my big creature deck versus the other one, which is a Precon, which we talked about in the very first video, the introduction. That a Precon is a deck that is already pre-constructed, so it's easy of use, which I recommend for new beginners. We play our land. Looks like he's already got a white themed deck out, which looks like it's going to be humans, maybe lifelink. We're going to play our druid, our little woodland mystic. But these big creatures just get like overpowering, as you can see in my deck below. Gigatensaurus or something, I cannot pronounce that right. Oof, I'm going to take the 2 damage. And it's double strike, so he gets the attack twice. Double strike means his 1/1, or if he's buffed, we'll get to hit twice. We'll slay. My gosh, we don't have a land, do we? Wait. It says here I can turn her to add a land. So now we have 3. I'm going to play an enchantment which will help me get cards. But nope. Wait. Let's add this one. It's another add mana of any color. If I control a creature of power of 4 or greater, add 2 mana instead. I don't have that. But I do have a counter, an instant like we had in the last match.
Oh.
Okay, so let's see if this works. If he attacks. I want to save my instant this time to block. that. So what we're going to do is, we're going to take our 1/1 and block that guy. But, let's give him a little bit more life. That's right, he had double strike. Countered each other out. Now this card is very hard to understand. It says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to the target creature you don't control. Since he does 1 damage, and that is 1 damage, I'm going to choose that to attack that, and it's basically giving me a free attack. I just did my 1 damage to him. Since this card is tapped, it cannot block, so I know I can do 1 damage to my opponent. Remember in the other video, I told you about how to watch for blockers and unblockers. He just gave himself lifelink and attacked for 3, which gave him back 3 life. Okay, we have a forced play. I think we're gonna go with the pack hunter.
Let's get moving.
He has trample. And it says here when he enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 counters on each creature you control named him. I'm gonna have to block with him. Unfortunately, this white deck has me up against rope, and he isn't to buff himself with lifelink. Throw a world shaper out. No, we'll just have to keep blocking with him. Okay, let's see, what can we do? Well, we can play a bunch of small creatures. That will help us later, as you can tell, add mana. We can get our 1 damage in, which doesn't really matter at this point, due to the massive amount of lifelink, but we'll make up lost ground. Bring out our pack hunter. Now we can swing for 2 damage. As you can tell, the bot really messed himself up by getting his hand down to only 2 cards up here. You really want to keep at least 3 to 4 cards in your hand, and if possible, try to keep mana open so you can play the instants on defense.
Hey, that's wild.
Alright, so now we know we have 1, 2, 3 lands. I could pay 1 and then 2, and here's our big creature, who is a 10/10. We will throw him out. We will swing for 4 damage. Now we have our bot back down to the normal 20 life. It seems he finally got a creature, but I believe it's a little too late for him, so we can pay 2 mana with our creatures and pull out another Giggity. Now, if I attack with him, he will block, deceive to damage and destroy his creature so he can save his life. But for now, we're just going to attack with the 3. Perfectly fine with that, as our creature's strength is in numbers. Let's see. Let's throw this enchantment out, because we definitely have a creature with a power of 4 or greater, so we can get an extra draw. And like I said, you want to keep some cards in your hands so you can play later. You don't want your opponent to seem to think that you don't have anything. So if there's cards in your hand, you can always play the bluff. So what we're going to do is, since we got a bunch of low-level characters, I'm not going to play... Well, I just paid mana. Never mind. I'm not going to tap them. Let's throw out both Gigasauruses for 20 damage and watch him block. That would kill him. take 10 damage. If he attacks, let me show you how multiple blockers work. If he has a 2-2, like this Impassionate Orator, if he was to block with a
I hope I win.
Devler,
But I hope you win
and this
too.
Mystic, that is taking 2 1/1s against a 2-2. Now when I do this, he can choose which one he wants to attack first, but since our blockers was in numbers, we were able to do enough damage to destroy his creature. We'll play our land, we'll throw out a trample, and at this point, we can pretty much tell the match is over, because he has one card in his hand, no blockers on the field, and we have
I hope I win.
1,
But
11,
I hope you win too.
21, 25 points worth of damage. Well, that one has sickness,
Anything good
but
over
we
there?
have 21 points of damage that we can play to destroy him. And since it's our last turn, why don't we just go all out and play everything we can and all attack? And that is game. That's how the big creatures can win a match.
got me.
We were down half life early on, but we were able to sustain, get good blocks, and then throw our big creatures out for the win. And that is the green deck and how to play big creatures. The difference between a precon and a deck that I built. So once you get better at knowing the cards and knowing how to play them, you can start to identify certain combos, win cons that you could put together so that your decks are more powerful, so later on when you feel the confidence that you know the game good enough, you can play ranked, or you could just go into normal play, or even do some of the drafts, which are fun. Even though I'm showing you guys this on a computer game, the game is the exact same in real life. I encourage you guys to go out to your local game store, like CSI Gaming in Rockdale, Illinois, and support your local game stores. Buy packs, buy boosters, you know, buy your decks there, your sleeves, everything you're gonna need to play Magic. Your local game store will have for you. And Magic has one of the greatest, you know, communities I've seen. All the players are super nice. They'll teach you how to play. They'll sit down and show you. They'll show you how to build decks. They'll trade cards with you. I mean, this is just a great game, and I'm glad I got into it. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, follow CSI Gaming. Thank you.